Okay, so we are going to do a quick look at the Mighty Catalog. It is a very handy tool that's been provided to us for being a Mighty parts vendor. I do have the icon on my desktop. This is what it looks like. It could potentially be in a different spot on your computer back at the store. If you want it added to your desktop, go ahead and get in touch with Dan if it's not already there. So first we're going to go ahead and open up the Mighty Catalog. And the first thing that you want to go ahead and do is enter in the vehicle information of what you are looking for. So you obviously see there's a lot of drop downs to choose from. We'll go ahead and click on air filters. Let's say this Equinox is a V6. If it is a part that we stock, you're going to see some pricing information obviously come up for it, so that you know if it is something that we have available. We do carry their oil filters, we carry their air filters, cabin air filters, things like that. So that does pop up with some extra information and the corresponding part number, though this part number specifically is probably not of much relevance to you. So below the vehicle lookup section, you'll notice here that there are some buttons here in the red lettering. You will note the new application lookup. This is going to be one that you'll use to go ahead and clear the existing vehicle that you have in there. It's a nice, quick, and easy option to go ahead and pop in a new vehicle when you're working with somebody new. So we'll just go ahead and pop back in. Let's grab a different vehicle, and I'm going to select belts this time, and we're going to go with it's a V8. Okay, so you'll see here the information pops up now for this alternate vehicle. You will not really need the part number lookup. What we sell is what we stock, so you don't really need those part numbers like I had mentioned before in order to order new things in, because we're not, shotgun ordering and like we do with the other vendors. The other thing you're not going to need is the cross-reference lookup. That again is an alternative part option to find additional parts, which obviously we don't need. If it's not something that we stock from Mighty, we're going to get it from somewhere else anyway. The part specifications do bring up additional information about the part you have highlighted here on the right. So in this case, I have a serpentine belt highlighted. You can click the part specifications. If you need additional information about that particular part, it will give you a nice little pop-up box here with length applications for this specific belt. Obviously, in my personal opinion, it would take too long to go through that. It's easier just to reset your vehicle over here. But it's a nice little reference point if you should happen to need it. You can also print the information for the customer, whatever you choose to do with that. The majority of what you are going to use is down here in this blue button section. Okay, so the first thing that comes up is preventative maintenance intervals. This is where you're going to find information about flush recommendations on most vehicles. If for some reason something is not listed within this nice little pop-up box here, please make sure you consult their owner's manual for the recommendation on mileage and so on and so forth. So you can blow this up a bit here and get a full list. It's going to show you what is recommended at every mileage interval to have done to the vehicle. So for instance here, let's look at every 97.5, you're going to be recommending spark plugs and wires. You can go ahead and flip this around and show this to your customer if you want, to kind of show them that this is the recommended maintenance for their vehicle at this time. So this is definitely a nice reference guide, but again, like I said, if something specific that you're looking for is not listed within these buttons here, please make sure you consult the owner's manual for that particular vehicle before making these specific recommendations. The next thing that comes up is this fluid capacities button, and this is going to help you or your technicians determine which fluid you should be adding back into the vehicle, how much, so on and so forth. So we're working with this V8 here. I'm going to keep doing that. Again, you can blow this screen up if you want to, and it's going to show you fluid capacities for everything. Oil, transmission, it's going to show you that. Cooling, things to that nature, how much to put in there. As a reference to the fluid capacities, most of the fluids are universal that we carry here. If for some reason you are doing a transmission flush, you do definitely want to make sure that you are checking the transmission fluid conversion guide. So you'll find that here underneath Tech Info, and you're going to find that conversion guide here. So anything listed in this blue highlight here, obviously the transmission fluid that we stock is not going to be applicable for that particular vehicle. And then there is a couple of ones listed here where you'll notice it says NA underneath CVT in this midsection here. So we do carry the CVT fluid. So if it is in blue or white, it's not going to take the standard fluid that we stock, quite so many of. You'll have to use the CVT fluid, or if it's in blue, you'll need to order in whatever special fluid the vehicle calls for. So, but your capacities and everything, like I said, are going to be underneath this fluid capacities button. So if you're curious on how much to add of what, you can obviously go ahead and pull that up if your technician doesn't know what that capacity is. Okay. The other thing about that too is a lot of our things are done up to X amount of quarts or liters. So anything in addition to, so we'll look at this here, the Chevy Colorado calls for 6 quarts of oil, where our oil change price only includes up to 5 quarts. So instead of just doing the standard oil change price, you're going to want to go ahead and add in the fee for the additional quart of oil in order to make sure all of our costs are covered. So I think you'll find this extremely useful in cases of oil changes where we're not just putting in the 3K and going. We can double check the amount that the vehicle actually calls for, so that we're charging the appropriate amount for the oil changes. The other option here, you have these serpentine belt routing guides. Obviously, we do carry the mighty serpentine belts. Your technicians may or may not use this, or may not need this, but if you should happen to need to pull it up, it will show you exactly where the belts go in the vehicle and what their routing path is. You can print it out for your technician. Anytime you sell a serpentine belt, if you want to just do that to be on the safe side, you're more than welcome to do so. But it is in there for you. The other nice thing is the tire specifications option that carries within the catalog. I do know that you can obviously look up tire sizes off of our website. A lot of you know the sizes automatically, which is fantastic, but in case you do not, it does have a tire specifications built in for the cars here. So you'll notice here that the standard tire size is a 235/50 R18, and then there's your alternatives here of what should be on the vehicle. The other nice part about that is it does show you the torque that you're supposed to be putting on when you redo tires for each time. So they do have a full up-to-date catalog that incorporates every vehicle that you can pull obviously out of the mighty catalog. So I think it's a quick and easy option. See, even if you're looking for, say, a 2018, let's look at a Buick Enclave, for instance. It makes you pick something here. We don't necessarily have a belt for it, so let's just go ahead and get it to pop. Okay, we'll just click brakes. Okay, so you can go ahead and click on those tire specifications. We're just going to grab any old vehicle. It's going to pull up the information, so you'll note here that the torque is different. So that will help too during your torque checks in order to make sure that you are putting the tires back on appropriately. And again, it has the most up-to-date information. It will continue to stay up to date, so it's a really fantastic tool overall.